Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Popular Memetics episode 1. Today we have myself, Purple Drank, Padrino, and your boy Joe Rogan's dad has joined us for a little chat, some artist interview, and see what's popping today. How's it going, guys? You doing all right?
Doing good, man. It's a big fucking day. It's a Friday, chilling.
Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah,
We got JRD here, man. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well, guys. I'm excited. Sober October is coming to an end.
Yeah, how's that gone so far? Have you felt like it was beneficial to you?
Yeah, I do. I kind of made a point of it this year just because so many times I've said, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then like it actually comes around and nah, that doesn't sound like fun. But there's so many times where I have accepted that and almost given in, and I want to be strong, and it's like if I can't take a step back and put something down for a month, then it's got a real pull. But hey, it's kept my mind sharp and I'm feeling good, but I'm ready for whiskey.
Nice, man. Hey, well, congrats on completing the soon to be completion of that. We'll have to try it next year.
You.
What's up in November? You doing no shave November, no nut November, something like
that? You know what? I wasn't going to be publicly talking about it, but yeah, I think I am at least going to try to participate. We'll see how far we go there.
Sick. No NFT November? Is that what's coming up?
I don't know about that. Can't promise that one.
So, man, we got to know the ski mask. What's the story?
It's actually really funny. I was gonna talk about it on Twitter, but I didn't really want people to also go out and get this one. But this is from Walmart for $8.88.
Oh, did you just sew it yourself?
I do.
What?
No, it came like that. Kind of unbelievable, really.
Oh, you found that? I thought you had it like custom made or something.
No. I am speaking with an artist right now who goes by You Don't Know Who We Are, and like Weirdo Collective, and they're from Brazil. They make physical masks. They're making me like a legit, like threaded, like a real deal mask. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's pretty sick. Is it who was I talking to? There's a Twitter guy, CCOG. Have you guys ever seen him? They did like merch drops and stuff for the Dark Farms friends. So we reached out to him to try to do some Vanguard stuff, like a tee and a hoodie with front and back prints.
Okay.
So just in case anybody's looking to do merch stuff, it's been a pretty good experience so far with this guy, and prices are good. So hopefully it comes out and there'll be some cool product and we can slang them out to people that buy like well, we have some ideas for how we distribute them, but not quite sure just yet,
Right on. That sounds good.
What's on your radar, dude?
Just hey, we're going into November, like there's some collabs going. One thing I've really noticed, and I just wanted to give a little shout out, the Drank DAO. I love the pieces that you've been commissioning. Some great work by some great artists. A lot of fun for sure.
Dude, it's been incredible. I kind of just reached out to some artists, I think mostly Vanguard people, and I just said end of the year, it's been a year. I definitely overpromised on that. I wish I hadn't promised a year because it's a long time in this space. I feel like
dude. Right.
It's too long. Anyway, next year we'll figure out a better way to do it. But it's been really nice to kind of bring it full circle, where it started off with a bang. I was really into it and I wanted to do it. And then fuck, man, those flippers just got me. There was like one dude that had 6 or 7 wallets with different names on them, and he was funneling them in and selling them. I was like, fuck this. So I just gave up. And then towards the end of the year, I'm like, man, I need to bring this back and just kind of finish off strong. So this has been a really awesome way to do it. Really impressed with all the artwork that's coming out. I'm actually change one to my
it's
yeah, and you know what? Some things sometimes don't exactly go the way we initially planned, but hey, I think tremendous job on, really, I would say 100%, following through with the token and giving us some great art as a holder. It definitely created value.
Yeah, man, I appreciate hearing that. Thanks. It's been fun. It's been also challenging to deal with the people that have complaints and stuff. Like I want to be an artist, not customer service, but it's kind of a mixed job.
Welcome
Yeah,
to DAO life.
yeah, DAO, and it's not even actually a DAO. It's more just like a token where I'm going to give
Yeah.
you free shit, and it's
York's
just
the
called a
utility,
DAO.
bro. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even. I wish I never called it a DAO because then it's like
Voting on what, right?
voting on what? Is there a coin? Is there any of this shit? And this battery died on here.
Or like a social club then. But
Yeah.
Joe, like I've been following you for a little while and like just love your shit. I've bought like I don't know 5 or 6 pieces on Tezos and
Yeah, thank you.
I
I
like
appreciate it.
yeah, man, and a lot of like stuff that really sticks with me, like especially some of the stuff that you've been tweeting lately. Like you had called Tezos is like the Viper Room of the 1990s. Can you like kind of tell me like what you mean by that vibe? Like what's going on with that?
Well, I think we all know it, and I would, obviously consider us in that Viper Room. The '90s, that was the cool spot. I believe Johnny Depp had owned the Viper Room.
Mhm.
Famously, River Phoenix had passed away there, but it was just known as just the it spot. The kind of underground. You had to be kind of cool or know the right people to get in, and just the non-commercialized place to be. And I draw a lot of parallels because I feel like Tezos is it's all the fun of collecting beautiful art with any of the kind of speculative boner, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it feels like a movement or the way that I like, I'm relatively new to like Tezos. Probably, I started on FX Hash and kind of doing some of that generative art, and then I started like finding Dai with the most likes, and then I found like Purple Drag, and then I started seeing the Vanguard and La Creme de la Creme, and I just like found like the thing that I was magnetized to was like all you guys with your Pepes, with your AI, like just dank, awesome shit, just fun stuff. And I felt this vibe, like I was a connected, or it was like some sort of tribe or something. But I totally get what you're talking about, like maybe like the Mud Club in the 1980s, or I don't know, maybe like a cornfield rave in the Midwest in the 90s, like when I was a high school kid or some shit.
Exactly. And that's, really what, like, for me, someone like, for instance, the Myth, like he created like his character and his verse. And, I have essentially, I purchased a one of one, which was the character that I wear this balaclava in reference to. And to me, like the Myth and the Myth verse is just a culture that is so fantastic. We don't even speak the same language, but it transfers over. It really, I've absorbed it. And, I really appreciate Daniel Myth and the art. I would say what's interesting about him is I think he's probably the most kind of honored artist on the blockchain. As far as like the amount of tributes, to him and his work. And, he's not even on Ethereum. He's not doing one of one auctions for $20,000. He's just a regular person.
Super recognizable brand to his character, right?
Yes. 100%.
It's so strange and kind of outlandish with all this work. It's hard to miss. I think that was one of the reasons why I came to Tezos, because I saw this crazy shit, especially the boxing one with like all the yeah, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but that thing was wild. I'm like, I don't even know what to make of this. And then I came to Tezos and realized like a lot of this quality art is coming out from different people here. Obviously not a Myth quality. He's got that brand that's hard to miss, but building there's a lot of people building characters that bring those characters with them throughout art to get some recognition in each piece,
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And, they say like imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And I believe that to a certain degree. I like when people are, making derivatives of your work, are copying or not copying, but tastefully admiring your signature characters. Hey, that is the grassroots movement. I'm not really sure what else is. And, just all the things that we've collected, Rat Cloak, Die with the Most Likes. Mark Wilson, Die with the Most Likes, extremely talented individual. He reminds me of like that persona of like the famous artists from the, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s that almost were when they were like movie stars and they had such a personality. You know, that person really has a personality. I think as far as brands go, I mean, Die with the Most Likes, The Myth, I mean, come on, you know, it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
But I'm just so excited to be close with these guys. You know, like on Tezos, I've been able to collect their art and get close with them. You know, I would consider them my friend. I can ask them for advice or talk to them when I need to. And, you know, that transcends just being a collector of someone's art. So,
yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting the anonymous connections that we can make. Like you and I have met once in real life, but with everyone else in both of those groups, I've never met and might not ever meet. But like you said, I do consider them friends and I would trust them. And, you know, often I'm like, hey, can you just get this thing for me and I'll send you money? Or, you know, there's a lot of trust between these people that are anonymous just because we have the same kind of goals. We're looking to do the same things and create and build the space up. So it's really nice to be able to forge those connections in some, obviously, you know, just in the internet. I'm not even doing it in real life, but it's really cool.
Yeah, and it's just like anything, like we've known each other for a while now, and I feel like anyone that is of, you know, maybe not up to quality as a person, you know, you kind of can sniff it out after you've known them for, you know, almost a year. But yeah, just a great group, and La Creme and, you know, all those guys. And like I said, just some of their art is just so amazing. Like it is one of those things where you know, like Poco Belly, he always says, like, why isn't Die with the Most Likes in MoMA? And it's one of those things I believe that it at some point, you know, you very well could be. You know, we're just seeing something special here on Tezos, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
It's like like they say in Bitcoin, right? Gradually, then suddenly, all of a sudden, there'll be these artists blowing
Studying
up.
everything all at once, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything all at once. And
Dude,
then
it
for
was
now,
like-
for now, it's like, what are you guys doing? I don't understand it. It's stupid. It's you draw frogs and shit for your living. I'm like, you know, now I'm like, yeah, I draw frogs for my living. To wake up every day and do that shit all I want. And it's really nice that we're able to empower these artists, and especially with the royalties. For me, that's the biggest thing. I can't believe people want to get rid of that. Let me choose my own shit. If you don't want to buy the art because you don't want my royalties, fine, don't buy it. But don't go back behind the contract and take my shit out like Looks Rare is doing right now.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, negating the royalties, because like I said, to me, when I purchase a piece of art, I'm looking for that connection. You know, it's, you know, I'm looking to be friendly with that artist, and like cutting them out of the fees isn't gonna get, you know, that's not a friendly move. But you know, hey, I had a question for you, Purple Drank. You've always been a longtime fan of the Pepe. You know, you know, your first work that I was collecting were, you know, was Pepe related, that sort of thing when I got into your work. I see you got like Matt Fury books and stuff like that. How deep has this gone for you? When did this? Yeah, I
want to know too,
This shit
JR.
sticks
Like,
with
when
me,
did
dude. I'm
this
like, oh, let
start
me look
for
at different.
you?
It's just like a encyclopedia study guide for my drawing books. It's amazing.
Feels
Yeah,
good.
I don't know. I think Pepe just became something really accessible. I started looking at the fake rares and fake commons and all that, and just seeing all the fun stuff. I really just want to have fun with this space. If I can continue to enjoy it and create things that I like and laugh about, then that's really what I want to do. And Pepe, for me, feels like something like a legally remixing anything you want, right? As long as I take this piece and I redraw it myself and I add different things to it and current events. That's what I usually do anyway. Like I'll take Frazetta pieces that I loved my entire life, or like a bunch of old Conan comics I have over here, and I'll scan a page and use those as references and then add Pepe to it. I probably wouldn't do it if it wasn't Pepe based, because then it would just be like I'm redoing Frank Frazetta's work. But it almost feels like a collision of two worlds that are really interesting to me. And it's still really niche, but I consider a lot of these artists as historic artists and people that are way ahead of the curve. But yeah, just drawing Pepe's for me is fun because you can just I'll look at something like Van Damme movies. I'm watching Hard Target the other day. I'm like, dude, I got to draw Pepe punching that snake, dude. I got to do that.
I remember that piece. Yeah.
Just
That
funny
was
shit like
fun.
that. And it's so entertaining. I also, after drawing Pepe 10 million times, it's kind of automatic. I can just do it. So
Yeah.
I do want to
That's
branch
cool.
onto other stuff. And that's why I've been working on the data moshing videos and editing and trying to build my skill set as an artist as opposed to just doodles, although that's kind of my bread and butter that I like to do every day. But yeah, that's it. It just like licensed to remix things you like. And so I want to do that more.
That's
Especially
awesome.
for both of you guys.
I've really enjoyed your last couple ones with the data moshing or whatever,
Oh,
where
yeah.
I believe it wasn't your face, it was the banana boat one, and then like then the face turns into the melting face from Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I just wanted to do, it's kind of like little short drug trips, right? Like Denzel, that scene from that movie is pretty fucked up because I mean, my 20s and stuff, you know, I used to have fun. There have been days where I'm hungover. I'm like, I need something to help. And that's that scene. And then I was watching also the, what's the balloon? He went from the Red Bull balloon, Felix Baumgartner. So that was
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
the guy at Red
like
Bull
as soon
jumper.
as he sniffs it, he falls off this when you go down in kind of the hole or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Just having fun, kind of enjoying those and working on the way transitions play with each other. There's some really cool ones too, like the ASAP Rocky had the Lamborghini High video where they just data mosh, they jump out of the screen and do all this cool shit. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's pretty sick.
I will check that out. Very cool.
But the
So
game.
Padrino, how'd you get into this? Who
Okay. You want to know my story?
I do.
So I got into, well, before I got into crypto in 2015, I was a magazine editor for mostly photography magazines, outdoor photographer, pop photo. I used to write for them. So that's kind of like where I got the popular Memetics. So I was a magazine editor. I worked with a lot of professional photographers like Sebastião Salgado, Sam Abel, John Paul Caponegro, just very interesting guys that I got to go out and shoot in the field with, and I got to travel all over the world. But around, when the recession started happening in 2009, I lost my job there, and I got kind of obsessed with like Occupy Wall Street, and like I was just kind of like really mad because I'd lost my career because no one had ever sort of paid for it. But and then I started getting into crypto. I started falling down the rabbit hole of Satoshi and like understand the revolutionary technology that, this is the native currency of the internet, that Ethereum is the base layer and all these other chains are just infrastructure of this like really unique and fascinating way to create things from governance to deeds to art to culture to memetics. And then I started, working in the ICO time. I worked for like for instance, I worked for, I don't know if you know marketing at all, but there's like Neil Patel. We did marketing for his ICO. And then I worked in the DeFi world. I was a freelance writer, a photographer, like from the past, and worked in the DeFi, helped build some companies up. And around when the NFT boom started happening, I started buying like Pranksy boxes and like early sort of stuff on OpenSea, just going on there buying stuff, and I just got kind of addicted. I just had Ethereum in my wallet. I had a MetaMask wallet, and I got obsessed with NFTs and what the possibilities of tokenizing intangible assets. You know what I mean? Like
yes,
art, culture, all that kind of thing. And actually the person that I worked with in 2015 through like 2018 and the ICOs and all the other kind of stuff, we came together and we started the MetaHouse Mafia, which is like an NFT DAO based on casino, kind of like a separate thing that I do. So we launched that like last February. We're still actively doing that, but like, I started just collecting because it just became like a frenetic passion that I just wanted to collect. And then I started like seeing Grant Yunes and like understanding Xcopy, and I started seeing things happening on Tezos. I just started watching wallets on Nansen and just digging deep into it. And then I think what really drew me into Tezos was I found Die with the Most Likes, and I'd read his social commentary and just like his really literary writing. I mean, he's a novelist too. Like Mark is just like really like a wax poetic, like, but with such, dilapidation and interesting energy that I started looking into his wallet, and I saw you guys there. I saw Purple Drink there. I saw La Creme de la Creme. And then I started, insatiably like wanting to find out about what the fuck is going on with this. Cause I'm like, there's an explosion of art happening on Tezos. And then, and then I started watching Pokebelly. And then I started thinking to myself, well, I like building things. I like growing things. Like I see what this is. I could feel that groundswell. I can feel it. I've been a part of a few of those things that, like I'm an older dude. I'm like, in my 40s or whatever. But, I mean, like I've been in the 90s. I've seen some cool shit. And like this just is something that I've always been passionate about since like I learned about Bitcoin. I guess that's just kind of my path of how I got here. But I'm collecting now. I've taken sort of the interest in getting back into my photography, and I just got what I call an Apple Pencil. I've been fucking around with Procreate. Like I suck, but maybe Drank will help me, or maybe you guys. But I've done dabbled in Midjourney and DALL-E, and I fucking love it, man. And then just being friends with you guys, I consider you my friends. Like we never met each other, but it feels like we have like a connection or a bond, and it's fun talking to you. Like whenever you guys post stuff, I'm like, fuck, I got Tezos in my wallet. I'm buying fucking JRD shit. I'm buying fucking Gloom Tube shit. I'm buying fucking drag shit.
It's hard to keep Tezos in your wallet, man. It really is.
So difficult.
And everything's like, oh, it's one or two, it's just 3 Tezos. You're like, fuck, what is that? $10 for this piece of art? Yeah, of course I would buy it. And then I'm like, wait, where did all my Tezos go? I got to go on and make something to sell it so I can afford my addiction to collecting more stuff on Tezos.
Correct. The endless cycle. That is how I got into it. And hey, Padrino, the passion, obviously we can see it. I would say, exactly how you summed it up is essentially what happened to me. I mean, just overwhelmingly since I've been in it, I love this. I mean, I really, truly enjoy it. If I can make it my full-time career, I would in a heartbeat. I'm always trying to learn more, and, it is addictive. And, there's only so many people that catch the bug like that. And I would say you have, someone in a short amount of time, buying a lot, adding a lot, messing around with new art styles. Like those are all things that, it shows your passion and devotion to what we're doing here.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it, man. I love talking with you. That's what I was going to ask you. I was like, I want to know, like, Dan, Joe, what, I guess kind of like, are you traditional artists? Like what made you like find Tezos, and like how you both got there? I'd love to know that.
My camera's tripping out, but
Smosh.
Oh, what's going on? I studied graphic design in university for 4 years, and then I didn't really use it. I don't know. I just wanted to be an artist, and then afterwards I didn't make the right connections to do it. And I did graphic design for a couple of years, but it was not really my jam with working with clients. They think they know what they want, but they don't know what they want. They don't know how to explain it. You make it, they don't like it. I just didn't want to do that. So took jobs doing a bunch of other shit. I actually lived in Asia for like 12 years teaching art and English and stuff. And then when I came back here, I bought Bitcoin from a friend's recommendation. Dude, when NFTs came out, well, I don't know, they've been out before, but when I discovered them, it was probably like almost 2 years ago now. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is everything I want to do. I want to draw. I want to create with friends. I want to surround myself with art and artists, and I want to work for myself and do it on my own time. So I still set my own deadlines and shit, but I don't have to go clock in with somebody. And I think that's really beneficial to my mental health now too. I feel like even if I'm not making $1 million, I feel like I've made it because I can do what I like, and I feel happy waking up to do it every day. And that's what NFTs really mean to me, is that I get to wake up and experiment and have fun and network with homies, and that's it. It's all I got to do all day. And eventually it's feast and famine. Sometimes you don't make a lot, and then sometimes you sell a cool cat for 12 ETH, sometimes it just depends on what you do.
Yeah, and if I may touch on that, I remember just one of my stories when I first started to follow Purple Drank. And I had told him about this before. It's the first person I saw he had sold that thing, that cool cat for like 12 ETH or something. This was when ETH was like $4,000 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Tippity top. It was amazing.
And I remember I was just like, wow, he really, he really made it. Like he someone that I personally saw, made a considerable amount of money in a trade. And that was just really cool to me. And then I started to collect his art on Tezos. But okay, for me, as far as artists goes, I've always enjoyed art a lot. I don't have a formal background in it. My cousin Runetoon, he does have a formal education in it. He's a real deal artist. He really is. He knows his stuff. But I just enjoyed collecting so much, and I turned him on to this. He'd been an artist his whole life, and he's like, yeah, and then what I will say, I'll commend him, since I've shown it to him, he's really gotten into it on his own. He's his own man on here, and he's doing his own thing, and we, talk all the time, but it's been a real pleasure doing it with family. Now I just, part of it was like I had to start creating. I always wanted to create because I realized in order to keep collecting, I would have to at some point. I had gotten a pretty good collection, still have maintained that collection, but you got to feed the train, man. You got to keep it going. And if you want to stay collecting, when Midjourney had come out, that was so interesting to me. And we started playing with it, and it just, I had that. I kind of caught the bug. I was spending 8-10 hours a day neglecting other things that I probably should have been doing to do
Trying to
it.
get Midjourney to spit out stuff that you wanted it to look like.
Exactly.
That's what, didn't you start? Midjourney started right about when we met, when I was driving back across the country, right? And we were chatting about it, and Midjourney had just come out. Like, well, I don't know if it just come out, but you and I had just started kind of discovering it.
Yeah, let's see here.
I remember
wanna
that.
say,
Yeah,
like,
we went to dinner and
May.
you were like, we were chatting about prompts and like the future of AI and all that. I think that was
Yeah, no, and hey, and like that's the thing is like what I've said is like some of that early work, and what I would say for anybody who's messing with AI is curation's kind of the key, right? You just really want to mint very high quality stuff because the technology is only going to get better, and that's going like what I say is some of it doesn't age very well, I mean, if it
like a
wasn't,
tattoo.
yes, and if it wasn't to the T then, it's certainly not going to be to the T later
Yeah.
on.
Just like a tattoo. Think it through before you get inked up or before you mint that AI piece, right? Because is it going to age well? That's a good way to put it.
It is. That's what I thought about. I'm like, that's the best way to describe it, is like with any of this AI, because a lot of it's good looking, or it can be good looking, aesthetically pleasing for now, but like, will it age well? Is it going to still look good when the new trend in AI comes, or when it gets sharper and that's the new norm and that sort of deal? So I see it as a tool. I certainly don't I don't consider myself a great AI artist or anything. I'm an artist that uses AI sometimes. I really prefer, adding in some digital collage, that sort of thing, some mist stuff, things of that nature to make it my own. I don't really consider myself that serious of a serious enough creator or artist to, let's say, go after some more fine art styles. I enjoy incorporating myself and my character into the art. And I don't want to seem, it's not coming from a braggadocious place. It's just one of those things where that's how I make it my own. And, I've really enjoyed doing that. And I think I'm going to continue doing that. I don't want to just try to emulate others. I want to complement those that I admire, but I really, want to make each piece my own.
So yeah, if I'm just curious because I have noticed that you do the AI stuff, but it's clearly some of it's collages like Ape Fest and the Cream Party and all that. You want to just kind of tell us a little about your process and your workflow?
Yeah. Depending on the piece, I would say if it's kind of like, if I'm kind of, doing kind of something eccentric that's new, the idea would definitely start for me in Midjourney. And then from there, what I think is interesting is Dolly too, because I can take whatever Mid-Journey prompt I end up really liking and then putting it into Dolly for variations. Or what I really like, one of my little secrets that I'll divulge here is one of the best tools on Dolly is when you're editing something, when you're actually editing that picture, to once you select the area, is to type camouflage, and it blends it all perfectly. Like anything that was out of place, it camouflages the background. And that's one of my favorite tools. So that saves a lot of time and a lot of human error in going back when I have to use Procreate. So yeah, so any piece historically for me was, at least in the beginning, was Mid-Journey and Procreate. Using Mid-Journey to get the base in prompts to get the base image that I really liked, and then using Procreate on the iPad to edit them. And that is what you had done as well, Purple Drank, because in the beginning I was asking a lot for your help and opinions on things, and I appreciate you giving me that information. But yeah, that's basically how it kind of started for me. And then, I would learn more and learn more. And I still love Procreate and I use it all the time. I think I am going to be getting Photoshop here soon, but Dolly 2 specifically, when it has come out and the things they've added to it, I mean, you can take a lot of artwork I've taken work that I've already made before and fed it into that machine and played with it and edited out and added things in such a way that it's a 100% different piece of art, and it's a great tool. The only downside to Dolly is it's essentially, it's expensive. It's $15 per 115 variations, and it's for a reason. It's because honestly, it's quite a bit better system.
Right, I spoke to that. It's $15 for 150 variations.
115.
115. Okay.
Yes.
You probably ripped through that pretty quick, huh?
Well, I mean, for me, on a couple, like if it's when I'm using primarily Dolly 2 for a piece, like the last few pieces I kind of have that I've been minting, that takes about half per piece, if not the whole thing. So it's costing me at least $8, or whatnot to kind of make it. But I don't mind. I mean, it's the better art, or better program in certain ways, like for sure it is. And to me, the whole Mid-Journey look is getting tired. Now, even though
a lot of it, it's pretty saturated market with that look right now. You can kind of tell what
you can tell a Mid-Journey piece, right
away. And and for me, it's like what I've noticed is like even then, like some of the more advanced AI now, with the stable diffusion in the Mid-Journey, it's really hard. Then it's so like crisp, then it's hard to edit it by hand, because if you really edit it much at all, it's not going to look right. So one thing like I've really been working on is finding the right styles, like for collaborations. Like I want to collab with illustrators and things like that, but it's really hard to find that right prompt that I can, let's say, give them for them to add us in as characters, or add whatever they want to do.
Sometimes you can tailor that towards who you're doing the collab with. I would say, like, if you were going to send me a piece, I might ask you to give me something with crisp edges that looks kind of illustrative. That would help. Or if you're going to give something to, I don't know, like Felix, who does the paintings with the blurred out faces, right? You might want to send him something that's like more of acrylic style. So it is tough to find, especially with that, because cutting and pasting where there's not an actual edge or things like that make it a little bit more difficult. But you're right, like finding that style to send to someone to collab through an AI piece can be tough. Even with Red Rum and Strange Things and 009 did a couple of collabs there, and they're awesome. They look great, but I mean, you can see that they are pulled from one to another, and they're pretty clear elements. I could probably guess who did what part. I mean, they're sick pieces, but it is harder to blend collabs from different AI styles together. Or at least I haven't seen anybody do it that's like, damn, this is mind blowing and
might knocked it out of the park kind of deal.
Oh, actually, just because it's taken in one sense from the prompt, and then like the person can't really fully ever match that style when they're adding on to it, or it's just really difficult to. But hey, sometimes it works. Like I had a good one with GloomTube that I
Yeah, that
think
was
turned out
sick.
really well.
I think I own that one. That's dope.
Yes, thank you, thank
You have
you.
that
And
one? I gotta go get
sorry.
it. You own that one?
Is that the one
Yeah.
where you're going in through a bank vault and GloomTube's in there?
Mhm.
No, it's the JRD experience. It's me and GloomTube sitting at a podcast.
Oh yes.
No, I have that one. I do. I think I do. If
And
not,
it
I'm
was
gonna
so
buy it.
funny because there's a funny story about that. And I really like GloomTube a lot. I think his actual work, I know him the least, I would say. Like as far as some of my top favorite artists, I kind of personally know him the least. We've chatted quite a bit though, just about the market and things like that, but I don't know much about him. But his art, like what he makes and like all the references, especially like his first like early 2 pages of work on Object, I just feel like we'd really get along. I mean, it's really good. Like he really pulls like at those American heartstrings in the right places that for me it resonates a lot. And I just think it's fun. And for the most part, like, and this isn't even to be, political or anything, but I've always considered myself kind of libertarian. So I don't like most of the art world is total, usually left, 100% left. So it's fun for me to see kind of some of these references without being over, it's not, nobody's trying to convince anybody of anything, but it's just fun. To me, I've really enjoyed it. His work really resonates with me.
It's like a
And
statement on
Yeah.
modern society and culture, like eating at the Wawa, or what was it, like the Mothman on top of the Waffle
yeah,
House? That's
yeah.
my favorite. That one's so fucking good. It's like taking these urban legends, putting it in our current drab kind of
Yeah, and like even some of his
America.
earlier ones, like it was like basically poking at like when the FBI like raided Waco in the
Yeah.
90s,
Oh
and
yeah.
like that was a total disaster, at
Yeah.
least on the government side as well. And just stuff like that, and that's fun. To me, I find that interesting, and just kind of poking at some of these looming things that we all kind of know about, or at least parts of history that we should know about. So I've really enjoyed, kind of where it's taken. But for me, some of my favorites, like clearly it's not fine art, I enjoy collecting fine art, but some of my absolute favorite artists and art that I connect with isn't necessarily that.
I got to show you guys.
Um,
Like, this is my favorite piece.
Oh yeah.
I did.
That's
I got
annoyed
that
from.
one.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's
sick.
the like when the Dallas assassination attempt, was it on Reagan, I think, or
Yeah, Jack Ruby
yeah.
killing
Yep.
what's his name?
Oh no, sorry, yeah, Jack Ruby on
Oswald, Jack
Lee
Ruby
Harvey
shot
Oswald. Yeah, I was fucking around.
Oswald, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald. I think that's what that is. Because he's
Yeah,
going down
Mhm.
that corridor and he comes up.
exactly. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. But the Noid is just like such a throwback. You have to know that from being in the '90s and those annoying ass. Was it Pizza Hut? No, what was it?
No, Domino, see in his
Domino's.
pocket.
Yeah,
See that?
Domino's.
You can
That
see
is
his pocket
funny.
square.
Oh yeah, right here.
And to me, there's like, just everything. Like buffet, like where it's the old person at like a buffet, like a country buffet thing. And just like the preacher with the snakes, and LARP in the park, and all these. To
So
me, it
good.
just like, wow, it's almost I mean, like it's pretty genius, a lot of his stuff. And really, if you think about it, like Die with the Most Like stuff is so genius because he brings back references that are like seriously hard to remember, like it's like, oh yeah,
Cole's
hard
Cash,
to think.
Sbarro, like
Yeah, like he's doing some deep research somewhere. So like I gotta hand it to
mind,
him.
like you
It's not
hear
like
him
he's
talk.
pulling
Like
this out of his butt, like it's like he had to like really think this through.
I
And
think it's
that's
all
why
locked in here. I think he has that like Midwest consumer vocab vernacular that he's ready to just like drop
yeah, we
out.
share that shit, man. That's what's up.
Oh man, I love when you hear him talk and he's talking about something serious, and then it's almost like a kind of like a Tourette's kind of outburst of his like then diarrhea throwing, like it's like
But it's
Man, like,
beautifully poetic though. It's just like it's like this deluge of words, and it's like all this dilapidation and like vomitous almost in a way, and just
yeah,
things like deteriorating, and but it's like, and he's like describes like, oh, I'm shaking right now. The Momo just bought this piece with Cole's
Getting my
cash.
pants right now.
oh yeah. And it's every day. And you know, one thing that I really commend him for, I think it's so cool. He like 90% of like finished work isn't minted. You know, he uses that for his own content and it really works. Like that's super smart. I've always said that if you follow Wilson's career as an artist, if you follow his strategy, I think it's by far the best. You know, an OG on Tezos gets a fanatical following, then gets onto super rare. How he got onto super rare was doing that on Twitter, like, you know, writing some paragraph thing aimed at one of the people at super rare, and they eventually let him on. And then obviously he became very successful there. And so to me, doing one of the ones on super rare, you know, still he has done 2 generative drops on Tezos, you know, 2 FX
With the
hash drops.
newsboys and the glory holes, right?
Yes, and you know those
Yeah.
aren't.
I
I'm
got one
sure
of those.
you can say those. That's not a walk in the park. Those FX hash drops. If you're not like a coder by trade, you
Well, they
know.
give you Spider code, which works. I mean, Spider wrote the code or something where you can pull it. So when I did my FX hash drop, you're right, it is complicated. I couldn't figure it out, but I sent it to a buddy of mine. He's like, oh, he had some experience in coding. I think he does like whatever. He's a programmer. So he just threw it together pretty quick. It would take me a lot longer to do it, but there is a cool code there that's provided by Spider. So if anybody wants to do FX hash projects, you can just grab it and try to like work your way through it.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember him kind of shouting out at somebody when he did those drops. But that's my example. Is to me, he is so legit. Like in 10 years, he could be on the Tonight Show. I mean,
It's
you
a
know, it's
different
like,
kind of star, right? Like an art
yes.
star, like a web.
Well,
Well, and the difference is too is he's cool and interesting, like for real.
Yeah.
So like if they put him in front of a camera, he'll do well. You know, not that can't always be said.
Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, for me, like I said, it's just he has it completely together because he knows he could mint a lot more. He already does very well. I mean, in my opinion, for sure, I think hasn't even quit his day job, to my understanding.
I think he's a manager at the Coles, right?
I don't know
No.
what he. I
Like,
don't.
that's the
wish,
Applebee's.
I
I really
wish.
don't know. It's got to be some
Applebee's.
sort of creative writing something. I mean, that's what I would assume. But I think, you know, he definitely could at this point. I mean, you know, an average person would say that he could. My point is he's really made it, and it only looks like it could continually go up from here. Once he gets some exposure, mainstream, I mean, the possibilities, in my opinion, are really kind of endless because he's the whole package. Not only is the art great, but he's pretty great, you know. And
Big shout out. That with the most likes.
yeah, shout
Come
out.
on the
Big
show.
time.
Come on the show.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And you know, like I said, very nice guy. Every time you know, he's been somebody that when I got into his work, I really got into, you know, a circle of being able to, you know, him being one of my friends. And it's been very rewarding, intrinsically rewarding. So I've thoroughly enjoyed that, for sure.
Yo, let's switch channels and talk about some current shit that you're collecting right now.
Okay.
Kind of interested in from both of you guys too. Like what have you grabbed this week that's got your interest? But I do want to show you one thing that is amazing and I'm so stoked on. So this is the next, there's 2 more drops coming for the Drank Down members. One is from J&K, which is another like character. And then the other one is this here. Let me share the screen. Jurastics did this one. So this is
I saw that.
Oh, that's
ELD
dope.
file.
He's super good.
So he sent this to me a while back and I didn't know what to do with it. I think this is perfect because you can have this guy in your gallery now if you want.
Oh, so you could just stand in the on cyber. Like I've seen that in some of the
Yeah.
on cyber galleries. That's so
You could
cool.
do it next to the Thug Rat that BR did too. So that's so cool. I wonder what I could. You can actually do it on your phone too. You can like take your phone out and use it as an AR object in the environment.
That's awesome.
Shout out Jurastics, big win. Oh,
Yes.
dude, all these artists that are coming through with commissions have done incredible stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Jurastics. I don't know. I think it's probably hard to see it with the blurry
That's
thing.
cool though.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, but yeah, nice piece from him.
Oh, yeah, you got a bunch of new stuff this week.
Mm-hmm. I've been on a little bit. I took a break there for a little while, and then
This is
I've just been
creative.
kind of on a roll with Dolly, and I've been wanting to do a Gloom tribute for so long, and I just couldn't really like figure out exactly what. Because even when I try to do like cool Dolly stuff, the kind of smiley face is just kind of really simple, and I figured doing like kind of a mid, like I did a Mid Journey, like kind of based on one of his hotel room series.
This one?
Yeah, and then like Dolly remixed it and then digital collaged those in. So
That's so cool.
that's just an example of a piece that I really enjoyed making, and some people might like it, some people may not. And actually, why don't you go ahead and hit the that internet button under my name, and it'll take you to the basement,
Oh, nice.
and then go to there.
So
you
this
go.
is your vault here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can see
So
you got a couple drops from me last 2 days.
yeah, yes sir. And I have a few things in the other wallet too that I just picked up. One of them being
This one.
Oh, and Crush is really good, man. I think he's kind of underrated in my opinion. He has a lot of artwork, but I mean, as far as his skills go with 3D and doing a bunch of it, like it's clearly just kind of overlooked. Um, there's a lot of good glitch stuff coming out. I don't mind going like collecting some of these lesser known guys that have less work if it is really good and cheap. I don't like though just kind of random accounts that pop up in a certain style. I'm not a fan of that. Now, if the work is just absolutely amazing, the work's absolutely amazing, and I'm not going to really question where it came from. But yeah, some Gloom Tube stuff that
Some good
Puro
stuff.
made,
This
some
one.
good stuff. Yeah, I really
Yeah, I got
like.
that one too.
Shout out to the Vanguard, my boy here. Got to keep walking.
Cap up on it.
Him, and then the Taste, I
Yeah.
believe, isn't he a Vanguard?
Yeah, NVA, yeah.
And I really like his stuff. Some of it, like maybe it isn't exactly for me, but some of it's spot on. Hey, one thing I did want to talk about there at the bottom, that Zero piece, I didn't realize it at the time, but that's like his Nothing Man face.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was
And
posting
when I
on.
first saw it, I didn't even realize it. I was like, whatever. But then, like later, I saw a tweet, and I was like, whoa, that is really interesting. That's a really cool, tasteful way of using AI.
Let's buy it. Fuck it.
Yeah, and especially that thing went for 5 too, and a couple people were on the floor, so like they
Yeah, why are they
listened.
selling it for that, dude? I'll definitely pick this thing up. All right, that's done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The Gabby Weathers piece with Kevin was really good. I like their art quite a bit. I don't always get a chance to collect it right away because it goes really fast.
Yeah.
But I
13.
like
This
the
one's
work.
at 40. This is a sick piece too. Yeah, that's the one that Kevin and DJ and Poet. So if you got this, you got his poem that he made and minted and sent out too.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Was it like an airdrop with it?
Yeah, it was. Well, they did a collab. Dude, I want to show you this one piece I have from Gabby. I got a one of one not too long ago that I won on an auction. Oh shit, did I? Oh no, I'm thinking of Matthias. No, anyway, I don't know. I thought I had a one-on-one, but I don't from Gabby.
Pretty good. And then also to the right, like that one right there is Mental Barf and Martin
Here?
S.
Oh,
Yeah,
this.
that one. And that was really good. And Martin SOS or JOS or whatever is a really good 3D artist.
Yeah,
And
really cool stuff. I mean, I had seen
Been into
Martin
him,
on a
yeah.
bunch on Twitter, but never just till recently started seeing work. But it's cool. This is Mental Noise too, right? The collab.
yep, yep. And she
Good sound.
is talented too. And she, once again, a good style. She has her style with the bunny and everything. I like it. And he has this kind of pseudo, I guess, Mickey, like a Mickey Mouse looking bear kind of thing. And it looks good. And, I like the rest of his work as well that I've collected. Um,
Oh, and then here's Mercy the pigeon too, right?
oh, yeah.
And there's Mercy too. So a couple of shout outs in this one. Very cool.
Yeah, I think their work's really good. Um, Moat MT,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Turo.
I like his stuff, man.
it's really good. And that was kind of one of those things where this happens to me. Like, I'll see something initially and like I'm not sure about it. I don't even really kind of know what I'm looking at. And then I come back to it and then I was like, oh man, like that is really good. La Frontura, do you see that piece? I don't have
The
it, but I
border.
would like to have it all the way. Yeah. Really, this thing's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
If
Pokebelly
you're
talked
looking
about
at
that
it
weeks
like you're on the
ago.
border crossing, like heading over to Paraguay to do
There's a little
something
rat tail
sketchy,
here
coming
too.
back. That's
Oh,
cool. I like it.
man.
Fun. Yeah, pretty
Really good.
sick. He was doing all this, I think up until shit, I want to say like up until this piece, everything else was done on his cell phone. And then he got this, then he got an iPad and started doing all these pieces. As far as I know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Toro, but I think it was like
Amazing.
all this was done on a cell phone, which is already super impressive. And then he picks up the iPad and starts doing some crazy shit.
Yes, I really like those. The subject matter is really interesting.
Hmm.
For some reason, I really love all the Argentinian art, Brazilians too, but some of my favorites are Argentinians. They're really good. Really enjoy their work.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good art coming out. That's the cool thing is there's so much art coming from all around the world, and now we get access to it where we didn't have that before. You had to find a
Yeah,
marketplace or
I
know.
mean, really, like I said, like collabs, like for the first time in history, can like digitally collabing with somebody that lives in another country that may or may not speak the same language as you is rather easy.
Yeah,
For the first time ever. I mean, even 20 years ago, there wasn't, and imagine, people that are able to now create something that, like I said, just simply wouldn't have been available. And what I like about collabs too is they hype people up. It's fun. Each artist gets exposed to the other artist's audience. And I just think it's really smart for anybody.
what about you, Padrino? What are you grabbing this week?
Yeah, I picked like 5 that I thought were really dope. I guess I could
Can you
put.
screen share right now? You got it?
Yeah, I think so. Let me try it there. It's the yeah. 1 second.
We'll just smoke, Joe.
I got my new little Caliburn e-cig. I really don't like the square design. It makes me
Yeah, I
feel
don't either.
like a square.
This one
But
feels more like a pen, dude. You can just play with it, or like it just feels right in my hand. Where that one feels like I'm holding a pager or something. Like I don't need a pager.
yeah, yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm just totally struck by. It's Moses Herzog, and
So good.
yeah, dude, like it was on the lead on the Tezos Tuesdays with Padrino. If you want to get in there, drop it on the link. Drop a link. I'll take a look. We'll get some awesome shit on there. But it just something about it. I felt like this southwestern, the slumped over Trail of Tears, and then you can see that cavalry in the background, and I felt the same way when I looked at Cloaksy's shit. Like like when I saw his, I'm like I was just like like mind blown. Just his talent in the narratives and like all the hidden meanings behind things. And this one just really struck me. So
Stoic warrior,
I wonder if it's like a
yeah.
throwback to some historical story. There's like it's definitely not Indian, but there's the one where the Indian got speared. If you fuck, I better look up what I'm talking about. It's like Montana or somewhere has a big statue of an Indian that got a big spear through him, and he rode his horse still and delivered the message or something. It reminds me of that.
Huh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
really sick piece though. I guess my question is, who is this? It's a brand new Twitter account. Only one piece dropped, and it's sold out immediately. So
Which I don't like. I don't
is
like
it an
that.
alt? Is it somebody who's that's the question. It's really sick, and I'm happy that I was able to snag this thing on primary, but that's my question.
I put in an offer for 10, and then like after an hour or something or two, I was like, okay, no one's gonna do it. Like it costs 2. And then I pull it, and then like the next day, offer a 5 accepted, offer a 7. So I got a little mad about it, so it's a little personal. But yes, it's a great work. I mean, like I said, that wounded stoic warrior. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's excellent. It's great work. But is this somebody's alt? Probably. And and that's fine. I just don't like the secrecy thing, and especially when you're making money from the same people that are like your holders that do know who you are on other stuff. And I would prefer to know them, but it obviously, if it's good, that was a great piece. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to collect it. So.
But what if it's sometimes I understand where you want to try a different experiment, you want a different style, and I want to see, okay, if I do this style and I just try to sell the art without using my Twitter platform, will people still pick it up and buy it? Which is
but that's kind of an obsolete argument, I would say, because aesthetics, I mean, we all know that it is directly related. You want as much eyeballs as humanly possible. So it's like, yeah, you could prove it to yourself. But I mean, what I would say is I would prefer someone to just say, okay, this is my alt, or this is the alt I do AI with, like some artists have, which that I think is very clean. Like I said, the only thing.
Garth Brooks,
that's a great piece. I love that piece.
All right, the Bozaya. Dude,
yes.
So this is the other one. It's his Flora Flow. This is the last piece in his collection. Like you were saying, JRD, like the Argentinians, like they're just on a different wavelength. The creme de la creme. This shit is like the colors, I don't know. It's just like
all that dulce de leche down there or something.
The Gucci on the caddy. I mean, my grandma had that Cadillac in the fucking 80s. You know what I mean? Like it's Gucci as fuck. It's really good. It's like, I don't know, I see Grand Budapest Hotel or something. I see that Caribbean flow to it, or I mean that South American flavor. It's just good, man. I love it. The yellows, the pinks,
what I like about that too is that was a real car made by, it was an actual Gucci edition, and
really,
even car people don't really know about that. So shout out to Basaya on that. Like I said, I knew that they had some of those back in the day. There's multiple luxury brands had deals with American car dealers, especially in the 70s and 80s. Some exotic signature models, and that's really neat. And like that, he incorporated that. And of course, I wanted it. I don't have any. I don't have any Tez at the moment, but that was a great piece. I believe it went for over 50 a piece.
I think so. Yeah,
about the price.
Bid was something close to that.
I couldn't afford it at the time, but I wanted it really badly. So maybe I'll find some way in the future. Or he'll drop something as dope, I'm sure, in the future. But it's really cool. What about you, Drank? What you looking at?
I just been focused this week on trying to get the commissions from the artists minted and kind of set out to the members that hold that token. So that's kind of taking a lot of my time. Just doodling. I probably have like 6 unfinished things that I'm working on my iPad right now. The next one is with Dr. Suss, who does the Keck Wins edition. So he does the manifold. It's like Pepe weapons. I don't know if you saw the Batsu Pepe grenade. And then JMX did like an A bomb. So I'm working on something with him to release a new meme soldier. It's like what's inside the frog, Yeah, man. I'm appreciate you guys coming on. I think call it a Friday and Halloween and go for a cold one. Padrino, Tezos Tuesdays. Subscribe to him.
Please reshare, like, add your say, oh, that's awesome, or that sucks, or Padrino do better.
Also, if you guys want to come on, if anybody wants to come chat with us, we got time. I'm happy to hear from you. I want to hear about your process. And JRD, you finished all the hot wings, so you got 30 seconds to plug yourself.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for having me on. And everyone, feel free to follow me at Joe Rogan's _dad on Twitter and soon TikTok. So we'll be having some fun over there.
Nice.
Some JRD debauchery with the mask.
Hell yeah.
So you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy it. And thanks for having me on. And hey, more power to you guys. Keep this going.
Yeah, let's keep it going, man. Thanks for being our first guest, the first homie from La Creme de la Creme.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys.
Later, guys.
We'll see you.
Boy.